Hello, hello. This is the My Artifact episode number 3693. Today's date is November 9, 2029. Sorry, 2025. It's been almost like a night at 9:52 p.m. All right, let's just jump into the question. Okay, let's go. Well, before I'm kind of like a jump into the question, I wanted to kind of like a talk about something. Okay, today is a really very unproductive day. Okay, it's not really very unproductive, but a couple of things that didn't really happen, and that's why the day is a little bit unproductive. Usually, when I wake up at morning, I record artifact. I did that. Check. I read my book. I did that. Check. Then I play my microlearning games like Duolingo, Elevate, Lumosity, Brilliant. These are microlearning courses. Took at least like a 1 hour to complete that thing. Didn't did that. Okay. Unchecked. Then after that, app development. Okay. Yesterday I didn't really did that. Today I didn't really did that. Unchecked. Then after that, content creation. Okay. Thankfully I had done that, but I haven't really made the reel and haven't really upload. After this artifact, I will gonna upload that thing. Still, it's unchecked. I went to workout. I did run, so basically that is good. But lot of things are kind of like simply very unchecked, and it kind of like make my productivity is kind of like a little less today. Why is that actually happened? Is because of that today I have so many guests at home. So many guests. Okay, like my relatives are actually came. Okay. I wanted to give you kind of like a simple opinion regarding about relatives. Like basically is this thing. I grew up in such a family where my parents are have so many relatives, so many like like basically sometimes I just like really like frustrated regarding about having that many relatives. And my parents are really love like a kind of like a somebody be serving the guest as a kind of like a best and things and that. And yeah, at my home there are so many guests at home. थंडी लागते बरं, तुम्ही आतमध्ये जा बघा, आतमध्ये बसा तुम्ही, थंडी लागते. So my parents are kind of like a love serving the guest and things and that, and so many guests are came. Oh yeah, not just today, but like yeah. And basically is this thing na ki I just hate guest. Yeah, like basically this thing na like people are came to your home and kind of like assembly. It is like that na. I'm kind of like give you kind of like comparison between that. Okay, yeah. So would you love to hang out? Like basically is this thing that key which kind of like assembly group that you love to hang out? For me is my friend. I love to hang out with them. I love those people. I love that ki those people will come to me, came to my house, and kind of like we would have kind of like a party and things and that, because it kind of like a feel really good. Okay, yeah. But family relatives, it just like that ki just it just kind of like a feel like burden and things like that. Okay, yeah. Same thing happened with my parents, but my parents have kind of like somebody that fun and thrill kind of like some emotion came from their relatives, not from their friend, because yeah, like they don't really have, like they have friends probably have, but still is this thing that key my parents are like really have so many family relatives and things and that, and they just love serving them. And yeah, so I'm gonna ask a question to myself. Okay, that key, would you bring any kind of like a guest at your home? Like would you bring any kind of like a guest that kind of like a something like I would prefer to have a party. Okay, yeah, like basically is this thing, if there is my home and if there is kind of like a, somebody, my wife and things and that, so I would prefer that having friends because it felt good. Okay, yeah, but family relatives is just like, yeah. It just like since I was childhood, since the beginnings, I was kind of like the exposure of family relatives so much that I'm just really hate it. Okay, why is that? Why do you think is that? Okay, um like basically I'm not like, there is no kind of like a small disadvantage. It's like that, it's like that key. It's a my perspective that what I'm looking, and might be, wait for a while, let me do a little bit of susu. Right, continue. Okay. Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the guest. Okay, yeah, like basically I never really been talk about the guest that much. Question is, yeah, first, why you don't like guest? Okay, yeah, a family relatives. Why you don't like family relatives? Why I don't like family relatives? Like I like family relatives, but I like cousin, and that's it. Okay, yeah. Why I don't like family relatives is because of that key. I don't know. Yeah, like I don't really have any problem with having that many kind of like friend, family relative, but it's just like that na ki, like basically, okay, let me give you context. Okay, let me, what exactly is this thing? Might be I'm kind of like completely wrong in this particular process, but let me give you my perspective. Okay. So let's just say there is a kind of like a only person, okay, yeah, who is kind of like a living alone. Okay. The person who's kind of like a living alone, let's just say there is a family who doesn't really have any guest. Okay, yeah. So probably is this thing. Okay, it's okay. I'm gonna kind of like give you another example that you might gonna resonate that much. Okay. There is a person who has a parents, and B person doesn't really have parents. Doesn't really have means like that ki their parents are dead or somewhere else or things like that. Okay. Now basically what is actually happened? The person who has the parents, who always admire that B person because he doesn't really have parents and he has kind of like complete freedom and things and that. Okay. Now the B person is always admire A person because he has a parents. Okay, yeah. And things like that, so that he would kind of like believe that he is really good and things like what exactly is this thing? What exactly? Our human psychology is kind of like a work very differently. It means that we always kind of like a admire or always seek such a kind of like a sort of position where we kind of like a thinks that it would be kind of like a something stable, but unfortunately our mind is kind of like a something bit unstable. It is like that. Okay, yeah. It is like, have you ever feel that thing? Okay, yeah. Like basically we always like someone else stuff. Yeah. Regarding about everything. Like let's just say that your neighbor has actually bought a kind of like a car. Okay, yeah. Now basically you also have a car, but your neighbor is actually bought the car, so you just actually think that dude, like this car is really good and things like that. Okay, yeah. Not just kind of like that, but as also is this thing, we also admire other people too. Like let's just say that you are married. Okay, yeah. Your neighbor is also married. So probably you like your neighbor's wife. Fuck. Okay, why is exactly is this thing? Why is actually happened? Okay, yeah. Okay, so our mind is kind of like a bit more different, and not only in this particular sentence, it's kind of like a somebody utilize it, kind of like a somebody like a, this phenomena or whatever it is, it kind of like a somebody apply on multiple things. Okay, let's just say that sweet and normal food. Let's just say that you haven't really ate any kind of like a somebody sweet. Okay, and suddenly you kind of like ate a chocolate. Now you love chocolate because this is the first time you kind of like a taste of what is actually sweet taste like. Okay, now you are the person who kind of like ate always a chocolate, and then somehow suddenly you kind of like ate something like a normal food or things like that. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to tell you is this thing: our mind is kind of like always seek for someone else. Like basically we all like, it's kind of like the same phenomenon that I love gulab jamun, but I can't eat more than 10 gulab jamun because I love that, but still it's not good. Yeah, like basically is this thing na ki at some certain point our mind is kind of like a simply I don't know, it's a very hard to explain regarding about this. It's not really hard to explain, but it is like, it is what I kind of like experience throughout my entire period of lifetime. Okay, that key that key like basically is this thing that key it's a very like, I don't know why my mind is kind of like not really working very much properly. I don't know why, because like basically what is actually happened now. Okay, I was very unproductive throughout my entire day. I haven't really done any of my work. Last night I didn't really sleep that well because of that. Last night I was kind of like somebody exporting my artifact, then I was kind of like uploading and things, and that it took me almost like a 2 a.m. Okay, then I sleep at almost like a 2:30. Okay, I wake up at almost like a 7:30 a.m. 7:30, 7:45, which is kind of like a usually almost like a half hour late. Okay, whatever, but I kind of like wake up, brush my teeth, okay, do my breakfast, and kind of like assembly I was kind of like recording my artifact. Okay, now while I was recording the artifact, my mother kind of like assembly told me, you have to do this thing, do that, and I was like, okay, okay, let me just record, let me do my thing, let me read my book, let me, like basically what exactly is this thing na ki, like at this moment I feel like one of the most important thing is for me is that my work, and I have to do my work. I have to do all the things that matter to me, not kind of like my work and things like a basically house chores and things like that. But sometimes I realize that, dude, you are living home, you are living with your parents. What could you supposed to be expect? Okay, like basically is this thing na ki, is this thing that ki you are 32 and you are still living with your parents. Obviously they will kind of like ask you some sort of work to do, and obviously you have to do a work now. Okay, I know is that ki your work is more essential for you, but is that thing that ki they have some sort of thing. Today there is a guest are coming, so probably you have to do some sort of sacrifice and things and that, and like basically this is what I was kind of like so much like frustrated is because of that key less amount of time. Like for me time is like very very essential, and I don't want to waste any of those things. Okay, like basically that's why I kind of like I didn't really talk about the personal stuff that much, because is this thing na ki that like I don't know, when I try to talk about the personal stuff, it just kind of like made me more toxic and things like that. Okay, because I just kind of like crippled the whatever the good thing is actually happened to me. I should supposed to be privileged that I have family. I should supposed to be privileged that I have those family relatives. Might not they are kind of like care for me, but still is this thing ki I have those people. Okay, and that is somewhat something that ki I'm privileged, probably, and I'm like and I should supposed to be accept that thing. So like basically what is actually life that I'm expecting right now? Like basically I'm actually expecting that na ki I should supposed to be moved to Pune. Okay, rent apartment and do my things. Like basically I just have to wake up early as possible at almost like a 6:30, record my artifact, then read my book, do my things, do my exercise, spend rest of the entire time on kind of like the content creation and things, and that at the evening I have to go work out and things like that. And after the workout there is a kind of like somebody take a bath and things, went to the mess, ate my dabba or whatever the dinner or lunch, come home, record the artifact, do my work. I want that routine because, and as also when I come home, I don't want anyone at home. Okay, just like completely empty home, nothing really, no one at all. Okay, yeah. Like I need a kind of like a particular person, let's just say a girlfriend or things like that, but not more than that. Okay, yeah. And that's it. Like having less people, I love it. Okay, it just felt good. But still, it is might be a kind of like something right now opinion. What's a right now opinion? A right now opinion means like that. Ki, as I mentioned, that ki our mind is always kind of like somebody seek for something better, but we don't really understand what is actually better for us. Okay, like basically this thing ki right now my opinion is kind of like somebody made by such a way because I'm kind of like a cooped up by the entire family relatives things actually happened in rest of the day, and I was like a really frustrated and things like that. Okay, so that's why I'm kind of like a giving this kind of like some opinion which might be kind of like really not right or not good, because in the future might not have that many relatives or things like that. Okay, yeah. Because I also realize myself that he I am not that much kind of like a only possible person, that particular person that should supposed to be having so many like so many family relatives and things and that. Like dude, just shut up. Okay, you should supposed to be shut up. Okay, yeah, I should supposed to be shut up. Whatever, I will not gonna ask question today because I'm not tired either way, but kind of like somebody I have a lot of work to do. I haven't really done any kind of like somebody work. Okay, yeah. Tomorrow there is new hassle. What is actually hassle? There is no water. Oh my god. I have to fix that water too. Fuck. Alright, this is it. This is done, and thank you.